What's up, you guys? It's your girl Angela, and welcome back to my channel and to another video. Today's is very special because it is my last video of 2022. Now I'm not sure when this is going to go live, but today is Wednesday, December 28th, and I cannot believe that 2023 is it's like hours away at this point. Like we're 72 hours away maybe? Wait, no, 24, 36, whatever. We're a few days away from a brand new year, and I'm so excited for a fresh start. But I wanted to do a little 2022 wrapped because, first of all, I saw Kylie Jenner do it, and since all the trolls on Beyonce's internet swear up and down that I am trying to be Kylie, I guess it's the short black hair, I don't know what it is. But since everyone claims I want to be her anyway, I might as well follow in her footsteps and do this 2022 wrapped video. We're gonna do it with a little bit of a twist though, because I feel like her questions were specifically catered to her. Also, I'm like so jealous of the girlies on TikTok that are doing their 2022 dating wrapped PowerPoint slideshows. I can't do that even if I wanted to, because they're talking about, oh, I went on 22 first dates. I went on 36 first dates. Babes, I went on 2 first dates this year. 2, both of which turned into situationships that went nowhere. So I decided to make my own version of 2022 wrapped, and we are gonna talk about dating. We're gonna talk about my favorite things, and then we're gonna dive a little bit deeper and talk about lessons I've learned and problems I faced and what 2023 is going to look like for me. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna take a sip of my wine. And let's get into these favorites. My favorite makeup trend, which is funny because I feel like this year I've worn significantly less makeup, but still have spent the same amount of money on makeup, so riddle me that. But I love the like clean girl aesthetic makeup look. I love the less is more makeup look and the no makeup. I feel like that really made a comeback this year. But one trend that really stood out for me and that I am just obsessed with, and it's not going anywhere, especially with me, is the blush trend. And not only blush in general, but the placement of blush on the bridge of the nose and the high cheekbones using blush has just been chef's kiss, and it's all thanks to TikTok, because I feel like blush was not the moment for a while. So me and blush are locked in, and we're gonna stay locked in, ain't no switching up through 2023, you best believe. Favorite skincare product, I honestly don't have one product that's like the standout product of the year. I will say, since I started using glycolic acid, my skin has been amazing. Like, I can't even describe it. I use it in the morning and then put on moisturizer and SPF, and it just completely altered the texture of my skin in the best way possible. Other than that, my routine has pretty much stayed the same, and I feel like there's only so much skincare products can actually do. Like, it's not gonna work miracles. So yeah, the only thing that came close to a miracle was the glycolic acid, for sure. Favorite fashion trend. I also stayed far as hell away from trends this year. I promised myself that I would not pour my money into pieces that were here today and gone tomorrow. I think this year for me was definitely the year of elevated basics and forming my capsule wardrobe. I got rid of so much stuff, like so many pieces that I wore once and never planned to wear again, and I was like, we're done with that. That is not our vibe anymore, especially going into 2023. With that being said, this portion of today's video is sponsored by Zeagoo. I'm actually wearing one of their bodysuits right now, which is so perfect for me. It's one of those pieces that you could dress up or dress down. It's so girly and cute, and I feel like I'm really leaning into my feminine energy with this bodysuit. I love the off the shoulder moment, the ruffles, the tie. It's just giving. And I paired it with this skirt from Zeagoo as well, this lilac satin skirt. This is just a spring moment. I feel like this is like my first spring piece that I've added to my collection, but I definitely see myself wearing this to maybe brunch. Look how good this looks together, even like on camera right now. I could definitely see myself wearing this to brunch, or maybe even my goddaughter's christening, because that's going to be coming up in the spring/summer. We don't really know yet. So yeah, just love this, love the way it fits. I love the length, just everything about this. I need this skirt in more colors for sure. I also got this long sleeve white button up, which still has the tags on. This is the only thing that I haven't worn yet. Well, I haven't worn one of the dresses, but I'm gonna wear it on Friday. I really like the menswear look, and to like mix and match pieces with like menswear. So I could see myself wearing like a bralette under this with some baggy jeans. And then I also picked up 2 dresses. Now, if you know me, I tend to stay away from mini dresses because I got a caboose back there, okay? And it might be an appropriate length in the front, but in the back, like, you're about to see my crack. But this dress is the perfect length. It's just this black sleeveless dress with ruching and a side tie. I think everyone just needs an LBD in their closet. I'm planning on wearing this to my F 2022 dinner that I'm going to with my bestie on Friday. We are going out to dinner just to complain about everything bad that happened to us this year. And basically have a funeral for 2022. We're both wearing all black. So this is gonna be the dress that I wear for that. And then lastly, I got that same material in this dress. This is just a red racer back midi dress with ruching on the side. I think that ruching just looks so flattering on everybody. But of course, I have a coupon code for you guys, and it is Angela01, and their prices are already very, very low. So you're welcome. The links to these pieces, as well as my sizes, my measurements, and everything you could possibly need to know will be located down below. So don't forget to check the description box. Now let's get back into these favorites, baby. My favorite song this year, according to Spotify Wrapped, and I love Spotify Wrapped. When I first saw my little slideshow, it gave me the chills. I would bet money that nobody would ever guess this was my favorite song this year. I wish I could like find out how many times I played it. I'm sure there's a way. My favorite song of 2022 was, or is, Drown by Boy in Space. So random. Favorite event was definitely walking in Miami Swim Week. It was something that I was so nervous about, and I slipped the entire way down the runway because my feet were sweating in my big ass shoes that didn't fit. But I loved it nonetheless. It was an experience of a lifetime. I got to meet Jesse James Decker and a lot of other girls from my agency, and everyone was so sweet, and it was just amazing to get to walk. It was such an exhilarating feeling. I hope I get to do it again next year. Favorite purchase? Favorite purchase, what did I buy this year? Oh yeah, duh. My favorite purchase was the MetaQuest 2, which is my virtual reality headset. If you were thinking about getting one, I highly, 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 highly recommend you do. Even if you're not a gamer, because I'm not a gamer. I was like, what do I need this for? I get to lay in my bed and watch Netflix like I'm in a winter cabin. Like, it is quite the experience. Like, my mom was just on it the other day and she had a blast. I'll link it down below for you to check it out, but it's an expensive gift to get yourself, but it was so worth it, and all my guests that come over are obsessed with it, and I feel like that's the only reason why I have friends. So here comes my piggy making all this noise on my video. Can I help you, ma'am? My favorite TV show was Love on the Spectrum. What a wholesome show. It just made me feel so good. I laughed, I cried. Everyone that I made watch that show instantly loved it, and they wanted to watch the entire season with me. So I wound up watching each season like 3 times, and I did not mind because it's such a good, cute show. Absolutely obsessed. Okay, so the next 2 are my favorite movie and my favorite place that I travel to. And the reason why these go hand in hand is because of my London Bay. And there's a whole thread on Reddit of people trying to figure out who my London bae is or was or what happened. Like, who is this mystery man? And I'm finally ready to talk about it. Probably mentioned it briefly in another video, but I'm gonna tell you the full story now. So grab your glass. So in February 1st, to be exact, my neighbor hit me up and she's like, let's have a movie night. Like, let's watch a movie. My friend saw this movie and she really loved it. And I want to watch it. Let's watch it tonight. And she lives right next door. So all she did was come over. And I remember like that morning, I was in such a bad mood. I didn't want to see or speak to anybody. And I almost canceled, but I didn't. And she came over and put this movie on. And I was like, oh, the main actor is really, really cute. Like, so I went on my phone and I followed him, completely forgot about it, finished the movie. The movie was so good. And I can't tell you the movie because then you would know who I'm talking about. So we finished the movie, she left, I went to bed, woke up the next morning and I had a DM from him and he's like, hey Angela, like, where do I know you from? And I tried to play it off like I recognized him from an event or something. I was like, I don't know, but you look so familiar. That's why I followed you. And of course he followed me back. We started DMing. And then before I knew it, we were talking every day. We were voice noting. I taught him how to voice note. And then we graduated from voice noting to FaceTiming. And then we would be on FaceTime for like 4 or 5 hours a night. And he at the time was in London. So we were dealing with a pretty big time difference. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours. Maybe it was 5 hours? 4 or 5 hours? 4 or 5 or 6 hours? I don't even remember. But we were FaceTiming almost every single night for hours on end. And we got into this routine and I really wanted to visit him. Like, he couldn't leave London because he was filming a Netflix show. And the only way we would see each other is if I went to go see him because he didn't have any time off. And I checked my passport and it was expiring in like a month. And if you didn't know this, now you know, you can't travel on your passport if it expires in a certain amount of time. I think it's like 3 months, which is crazy because technically it's still valid. Like, it hasn't expired yet, but you still can't travel on it. So weird. So I had to renew my passport, and because I had to do this by mail, it took weeks. And they initially told me it could take like, I think 3 months to get my passport. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not gonna be able to see him. Like, I want to meet him in person so bad. Like, at this point we had grown so close. And then my passport wound up coming in within 6 weeks. So immediately I planned a trip to London. And I forgot to mention, during this time, not only were we FaceTiming, we were doing virtual dates. Like, we would literally get dressed up to sit on FaceTime and have wine, just like me and you are doing right now. And we would talk and we would listen to music. We would have Spotify listening sessions and he would play all his favorite music and we would just talk. And yeah, it was like one of the most magical dating experiences. And then my passport came in and I immediately planned my trip with him, and I landed in London exactly 2 months to the day that we started talking. So we went 2 full months talking every single day and FaceTiming and calling each other, and I had to wait 2 months, okay? And I remember every day we were like, oh, today's the day the passport's gonna come in, like, today's the day, today. And when it finally came in, it was like the best day of my life. And it doesn't end there, okay? So I went to London and I was supposed to be there for only 6 days. Because my thing with traveling to see men who I'm not dating yet is I want to give them a little bit and take it away. So I wasn't gonna plan to stay there for like 2 weeks or anything, like I normally would if I was traveling that far. So I planned to stay for 6 days, and even that seemed long to me, but I had to like take away a day of traveling there and back. So it really wound up only being like 4 full days. And I had such a good time with him. We instantly connected and it was just like we knew each other our whole lives. It was so cute. He had planned the entire week for me, and I don't even know if he knows this, but I found his note. Not that I was like looking or snooping, it was like out in the open, like a notepad, and he had written down all the things he wanted to do with me, and it was so sweet. And I'm a big museum junkie, so we went to the museums, we went sightseeing, we went to pubs, I had fish and chips for the first time, and it was just so amazing. We didn't want the trip to end, so I think I was only there for a few days, and he was like, I want you to extend your trip, like, can you stay until at least Monday? And so I was like, yeah, like, duh. So instead of leaving Friday, I was supposed to leave on Monday. And during this time, you had to take a COVID test to travel back home. Like, I didn't need one to go there, but to travel back home to the United States, I did. And my COVID test came back positive. So I had COVID. It felt like a little bit of a cold. I barely felt like I had the sniffles, but I couldn't travel back home. So that extended my trip even further. And like with me, I always feel like I'm imposing on everyone. It's just a character trait that I have. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm overstaying my welcome, but he was just so sweet and like low-key happy that I got to stay even longer, but I couldn't plan my flight back until I tested negative for COVID. So we pretty much spent a lot of time in the house, a lot of time watching Love on the Spectrum and a bunch of other movies and shows, and we just had so much fun with each other. And then when I tested negative for COVID, we were able to go back outside again, and I finally was able to leave after 16 days. So originally I had only planned to stay for 6 days, and I wound up staying 16 days. It was the best trip of my life. So that answers both the movie question and the favorite place that I traveled to. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what movie it was because you would know who I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to put him on blast like that because we are no longer together, unfortunately, but he is one of my very, very good friends. And I still talk to him to this day, but we were just not compatible as a couple. But that's long story long, all about my London bae. And yeah, he's a great guy and he deserves all the happiness in the world, just not my person. And I am still single at the end of 2022 going into 2023. So yeah, cheers to that. And that pretty much answers my favorite memory too. I mean, I think between my London trip and walking in Miami Swim Week for the first time, those were my favorite memories. And it just made 2022 such a good year, even though I had a lot of hiccups and a lot of like unfortunate things happen as well. I just feel like those two things definitely made it worth it. Okay, next, to dive a little bit deeper into 2022, Forbes put out 5 questions to reflect on this past year, and they require a little bit more thought than just asking like what my favorite skincare product was. What were my most interesting moments and unique experiences over the last year? I feel like every year is so unique and different, and I always get hit with a bunch of weird ass shh. But I would definitely say like meeting my man through watching a movie, that is pretty crazy, and walking in Miami Swim Week, and also getting flown out by 9 West to Formula One weekend. Like, I have experienced some of the most amazing trips and met some amazing people. I feel like this was definitely the year that I stepped outside of my comfort zone and said yes to things that I normally wouldn't, because I'm very introverted and just keep to myself. But this year I really, you know, did things that made me feel uncomfortable, like walking in Swim Week and, you know, traveling solo to brand trips that in prior years I wouldn't have gone without a +1. So I'm actually really proud of myself. What challenges did I face in the last year, personally and professionally? How did I grow from these? Obviously, me and London bae broke up, so that was really difficult, like going through yet another heartbreak, and I handled it with ease. Like, I handled it so well that me and him are actually friends now. But no matter how you slice it, it's always difficult saying goodbye to a relationship. Other than my breakup, I went through a friendship breakup that I spoke to you guys about in a previous video. But if this is your first time clicking on one of my videos, one of my best friends and I cut ties this summer. And it's for reasons that I won't get into, but I just realized that we are so incredibly different, especially in the way that we handle conflict, that our friendship could just no longer go on. Even with that being said, a really big part of me was hoping that she would come around and, you know, reach out to me and try to make amends. But I'm also not one of those people that's just gonna sit around and wait for the sky to fall and wait for somebody to reach out to me when I miss them and want to reach out to them. So I did try to reach out to her in an effort to make up and, you know, rekindle our friendship, and I unfortunately was blocked. So that was really a really sad moment for me, and I still don't really want to get into that situation because I will always care about her. She was one of my best friends. So yeah, it's really, really difficult. And I just feel like even with all of that being as hard as it was, it definitely made me grow and learn to stand on my own 2 feet. I feel like with her, I leaned on her a lot, especially to like leave my house. Like she was the only person that I went out with, and now I'm starting to like go out with new people and have new experiences that I probably wouldn't have had with her. So yeah, I just feel like every experience that I've gone through has been a learning and growing experience. So a win is a win, I guess. I don't know. What new skills did I develop / improve the last year? Definitely improved upon my filming. I learned my camera a lot better. I'm really happy with my filming setup. So professionally, like this is just like A1. I just want to kiss this camera right now. But other than that, in like my personal and private life, I feel like I have grown to be much more patient and understanding, and I have come to realize that we're all just trying to do our best in life, and I am no longer playing the role of a professional victim. I feel like in past years, even here on YouTube, somebody would do me wrong and I would immediately whip out my camera and be like, this is what this person did to me, and they're gonna feel my wrath because I need them to feel how I feel. So yeah, those days, I'm not gonna say that they're over because I feel like some of those stories are just too good to keep to myself, but I'm no longer in the business of bashing people because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to do our best through this crazy life, and we're all just floating around the sun right now. That's all we are, just little specks floating. It's not that deep. It's never ever that deep. What have I learned about myself, how I work, and what I need to be at my best? So one thing I really learned about myself is that I need to spend more time doing the things that I love, and my work cannot be my hobby. Like me sitting down filming for you guys makes me so happy and brings me so much joy, but I cannot consider this my hobby because at the end of the day, this is still my job. So going into 2023, I am going to be taking up some new hobbies, including, drum roll please, crocheting. So random, but I've been wanting to do it for so long. And so I'm gonna teach myself. I'm gonna watch YouTube videos and buy the supplies that I need because I really wanna crochet up some, you know, pieces or whatever. So yeah, that's one thing that I've been dying to do. And if it turns out that I don't like it, I'll just try something else. I mean, but I really just need like a hobby other than filming in front of you guys and sitting on my couch, you know? And what do I need to be at my best? I definitely need to focus more on my mental health and no longer compromise my mental health for anybody else's. That's one big thing that I learned this year, because for a long time I would put other people in front of myself, and that just never paid off, like whether they were a friend or a family member. Side note, I did not want to address this situation at all because I'm just, honestly, this whole back and forth over the years has been extremely draining, but she has decided to take it to her social media and post subliminals directed at me. I'm getting DMs from you guys and like questions like, oh, do you and your sister still talk? And no, we are not talking right now. Again, I heard she's moving to Vegas. That has been something that she has been wanting to do for a long time. So I wish her all the luck in the world. But again, I cannot compromise my mental health for anybody else's. So right now we just definitely need our space, but I still love her very much, and again, just wish her the best. What am I most proud of? Definitely my resilience and how strong I am and how I never give up hope with anything in life, no matter how many times I am let down. And I probably said this in past years because it sounds like, I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record right now, but I just still remain so hopeful and so excited for the future. No matter how many times I get knocked down, I'm getting the back up, baby. Okay, you cannot hold me down. And that is definitely one thing that I have admired about myself over the years. So 2023 isn't gonna be any different, okay? Like, you can try it, but you're gonna fail, because I will always rise above. But that is all I have for you guys for today. I hope you have a happy and healthy new year. I'm not sure when this is gonna go up, but this is definitely gonna be my last video of 2022. It's been an amazing year with you guys. Thank you so much for watching today and every day. I love you guys so much. Here's to 2023. Cheers.